Well, listen, man. Listen, man. I'm glad you made it out of there, bro. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? I'm
yeah,
glad
that
you
was
made it
serious.
out of there.
Yeah,
You
over
know,
30 prison shows, over 30.
God damn, bro. I don't want to go to prison for no reason at all.
No, not at all.
Show, no show, none of that shit. I'll pass. You know what I mean? I'll pass.
Yeah,
So, so I think that with comedians, right?
yeah,
They think that you guys are jokesters and clowns and all that. Not clowns, but they don't take you as serious. But I want to talk about the business of being a comedian.
yeah,
So you guys are like the CEO, the president, the marketing director, the secretary, the receptionist, the janitor.
right.
You play every role. You're your
Yeah,
own agent most times because when you're coming up, you don't really need nobody to book you to do a Chinese restaurant.
right.
You know what I mean? So talk about the business of being a comedian and, what you felt you needed to do to get to that next level. Because I want to talk about the next level after this.
What did I need to do to get on the next level? I think the next level is just opening up the type of venues you're doing. Um, don't just do one type of venue. Don't just do all black rooms. Don't just do all white rooms. Mix it all up and get a good set together, like two sets together that you're comfortable with. Just so you can adapt and work with the crowd. I think getting sharper with your set is when you kind of turn that corner and you figure out what you should be doing and getting used to that repetition of being a comic and just hitting up the stage, and reading the room and starting to understand how you got to read the room and what type of material is suitable for this room. What I did at this college show is not going to work at this over 50 show or this retirement show or this graduation show. So you start to read and understand your material a lot better, understand yourself a lot better. I think that's when you start really figuring it all out on the business sense. Then you start getting your worth together. Like, how much am I really worth? Like, how much time can I really do? Where I feel is worthy of payment, and the material is good enough for that. But you go through it, trying to figure it out, trying to be your own agent, trying to be, book yourself and all wearing all those same hats. You do drop the ball, but I think it just comes a time when for yourself, like, I think I worked at my craft long enough. I think it's worth X, Y, and Z. And these are the sets I have to set forth, and this is how much time I have and what I can give somebody when they want a show, when they want me to deliver a show.
Okay. So I've um, I've seen recently that speaking about next level,
Yeah.
you've opened up. I don't know if you opened up or you just were a part of the show for Marlon Wayans
Yeah.
at the Stress Factory. Talk about those types of experiences, and is that your first time working on the same stage with a A-lister talent?
Well, I think so. I think it's the first time working with somebody that has such a, I guess, a pull, like a name, like a draw, like Marlon Wayans. Because I work with a lot of big names in the game. I think Marlon right now is really, he's hot. He speaks to a huge demographic of people, young and old. So I think out of all the names, that is probably the most recognizable besides Kevin Hart. But that right there, getting pulled onto a show like that is just all being booked through the Stress Factory and letting that club know, which is my home Jersey club, letting them know that, hey, Ty Raney, he's a professional comedian. We can rely on him to come out and do a solid 20 minutes to warm this crowd up for this professional joker that's coming out here to entertain. I think that's what it comes down to too, is letting these club owners and bookers know that, hey, I can carry my own weight and I can set the crowd on fire and get them all warmed up and ready for Marlon or whoever the act is. So I think that was one of the reasons why I got that call. It's like, hey, we can call Ty. He get this party started, which was fucking crazy to me because I ain't do a show in 5 months and I was sitting on the couch scared to death. Like, goddamn, I just canceled the show the week prior because I haven't done anything. So for them to hit me up and say, hey, you want to do a show with Marlon? And when they said Marlon Wayans, I'm like, shit, yeah, hell yeah. Because
Yeah, yeah.
whether you've been sitting for 5 months, year, whatever, comedy is comedy. You're not going to get less funny. Maybe your timing might be a little off, but who gives a fuck, man? Just go out there and have a good time. And that's what I did. And, we had a damn good time at that show, man. But I think it's just being able to hold your own weight and just pull that time and get the crowd into it.
Well, I want to correct you because you have been doing shows.
Yes.
Like if anybody who follows you on Instagram, you do a show every day, every morning, every night,
Well, yeah.
and I'm sure that your wife can attest to it. I laugh
Yeah.
at this shit all the time, bro. I think it's
Thank you, brother.
absolutely hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. But there's
Appreciate
something
it.
that I want to touch on, pause, that you said. You said hold your own
Yeah.
comedically, right?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on like comedians who have writers?
Yeah.
It's similar to, rappers who are hot, they have their own writer. They don't. It's discovered that they don't write their own lyrics. They get somebody else to write for them.
Oh,
Like,
it's
what are your
disgusting.
thoughts?
It's disgusting.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that when it
Get
comes
rid
to the
of 'em.
comedy game? Yeah.
Hold on, sweetheart. Well, you know what? Honestly, all right, I'm gonna tell you. You twisted my arm, Kurt. My wife writes all my shit. Come here, baby. My wife has written everything for me ever since the goddamn beginning. This is it. The secret's out. She wrote every goddamn thing I've ever said. No, I mean, to each his own. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if that's your style and you're able to, take some material that someone has written for you and it kind of matches your style, then God bless you, man. I mean, what you do with it, that's your business. I mean, I personally, I would write for somebody, you know what I'm saying? I've worked with some of my comedian partners that I may have thought of something that was funny, but it didn't fit me. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of funny shit that's out there, but there's certain things that I'm just not going to deliver, or certain things that just don't fit into what I do.
Yeah.
I'll say it all the time when we off the mic or whatever, just being funny, just messing around. But there's a lot of material out there that just doesn't fit me. So I'll talk to like my man Ray or Q or, D or Z or whatever. And I'll be like, yo, this shit's funny. Like I ran into this, da, 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 da. And they're like, yo, I like that. I'm like, take it. Comedy is comedy, man. I just think there's certain things that's going to fit you. There's certain things that I'm going to say that other people aren't going to be able to deliver or say the same way. I think almost it's like wearing somebody else's sneakers, man. You can't do that. Somebody's got a big ass toe print. You feel weird wearing somebody's size 12s and you wear a 11. It just doesn't fit you right. So I just, to each his own. If someone's writing for you, or if you're writing for other people, get your paper. I wouldn't mind writing for other people and getting paid for it. But if you're writing for me, it's kind of weird. I'll mold it and craft it to be like a Raney thing. But, I like to kind of, I live most of the shit that I'm talking about. A lot of the stuff that you hear me talking about, I lived through it or observed it, or my mind's just going off the rails with a thought. So, and I'm just sharing that. So a lot of this stuff is the actual experience. When I say you drive all the way to work and call out in the parking lot, it's because I did that shit. This is not, I'm talking about, getting high, baking cookies and realizing the oven wasn't on after 20 minutes, just staring at the cookies because I did that shit. It's a lot of stuff that you do. You just got to share it with people. I think it's a lot of stuff you got to be vulnerable about. And that's another thing you got to be mindful too when you are married. There's a lot of things that I try to be mindful of and can't share too much about because it's too honest, too real, too funny. But my wife be like, okay, listen, you're not going to say something that's going to embarrass us. Okay? It's funny and all, but you are not going to. She'll sit me down, talk to me all nice and stuff, Kurt. It'd be smelling like non-chopper incense and shit. I think it's going to be some, sexual healing going on. She'd be like, listen, I saw your Instagram post, and what you're not going to do is embarrass our union and what we've worked for. Okay? What is this marriage stand up? What is this marriage stand up for you? What does this stand for? Huh? What does this stand for? Do you remember our counseling we went through? She doesn't do that shit, but that's what I hear in my head if I do something like that. So I know it's going to come back and get me. So, but yeah.
So, you did a I think you were part of a show that Kevin Hart was involved in, right?
Yeah, I did Heart of the City, Jersey edition. Kevin Hart was going around to I guess certain cities in different states and just picking out the talent, and I was selected for that. Myself, Ray Gibbs and CJ Crack. So yeah, that was one of my biggest moments in my career. My first TV credit being on Comedy Central, and thank you, Kevin, for providing that platform and cutting that goddamn check. Thank you, appreciate that. Shit,
Hey, well, cutting the check is always good. Cutting the check is
that's
always
always
good.
nice.
I
That's always beautiful.
you know, yeah, to be appreciated for for your work, but when your work is
Yeah,
something that you
yeah,
enjoy, and somebody
yeah.
sees deems you fit to pay you, you can't go wrong with that, man. That just speaks to your talent level, brother.
Thank
And
you.
and I want to salute you for that.
Appreciate that, brother.